Hi, my name is Amy, and today I will be taking you on my MDS journey. So, first, I want to start with a picture when I graduated in 2010. So I had just graduated with my AA in elementary education, and that was with the plan that I was going to go on to BSU and graduate in 2012 with my bachelor's and to become a teacher. So that's actually still the goal. I still do want to be a teacher. Life had a different direction for me. I actually got married and had children, and it didn't work out so easy anymore. School wasn't, the breeze that it was. When I graduated back in 2010. So I hadn't really stopped going to school completely. I was still taking classes here and there at Boise State. And um, I just one day, was looking through classes online and looking at the different programs because, you know, the education department's requirements, with student teaching and everything, had actually become really a challenge for me, with time frames. So I had kind of looked into some other options, and I found the multidisciplinary studies program, which had previously been general studies. And I thought, wow, well, this is this is great. I can definitely do this, and I can definitely graduate, and I really don't have that much more work to do. And mind you, this was back in 2013, 2014 time frame. And I had actually got in contact with Alexis, and we had, started making some plans, and I had to switch majors and everything, and that was a big deal for me because, I really wanted to be a teacher, and when I really want something, I want to find out as much information as I can, and being in the MDS program wasn't going to allow me to go the traditional route to become a teacher. So I'd looked into some other options and had gotten in touch with the Department of Education and actually found out some really cool information about, becoming a teacher without an education degree. So I thought, wow, well, this is going to work out awesome for me. And so here was my first set of IDP goals. And as I look through these, these didn't work out for me. So things changed. I started working full time, and doing my student learning in a classroom became extremely difficult for me. I'd actually started this class previously, and due to some health issues and a new job that was pretty demanding on the hours. Specifically when school was in session, it just became pretty much impossible. And so I kind of put it on the back burner for some time, and eventually Alexis got in contact with me and, was like, hey, what are you doing? Are you ready to graduate? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. I'd love to. And I'd actually just been thinking about getting back in touch with her because, I really do want to graduate. I want to be done. And, I had taken, some time, and, once you're out of, school for a while, it just doesn't seem quite as important. Um, and so some of these goals that I had set, like teaching in the classroom, that just didn't work out for me. Now, being the first person to graduate in my immediate family, now that is going to happen, and I'm really excited about that. So that'll happen here in the next few days. But yeah, IDP goals did change, but this was my first look, and I did have to modify those. But yeah, everything's worked out really well since then. One thing, instead of doing the student teaching, Alexis actually approached me when we had gotten back in contact, and she said, hey, I've been working on a mentoring program with another student. Now, this student was more military based, but this would be more general, and that's what I've been working on, and we'll get into here shortly. So some of the program outcomes, just the general ones: define problems and opportunities, um, gather and evaluate evidence and determine the adequacy of a given argument in order to continually make connections from my academic disciplines to real world situations. And we'll go through each one individually. So the first was problem solving, and we're actually going to go into that in more detail here shortly. This is what I did my student learning on. How can we get MDS students to stay in the program and graduate? So I actually have some personal experience in that, as well as the student learning that I did this semester. So the next is multicultural strength and diversity. So I was actually able to take a sociology class, and this was a while back, but it was really cool and really interesting, something that I wish I had taken more classes in the sociology realm. But one of the projects that I worked on was actually mega churches in the area and the differences in those, and how they correlate into the community and such. So that was interesting, that I did put into my Digication and ePortfolio. And writing. I've actually always loved writing since I was elementary school. Won lots of awards for that, and I don't think that I'm quite the writer that I used to have the passion for, like back in high school and such. And it's been such a long time, and I'm not a huge researcher or anything, but I loved creative writing. And so it's the research aspect has been kind of difficult for me, but just writing in general is something that I used to really enjoy, and I hope that I'll be able to use that in the future. So speaking is the next outcome here, and that's another thing that I've had a lot of experience in school and in the education program. There's a lot of public speaking that you do, and I was actually able to do some public speaking for my high school. The director of my high school actually asked me to speak on behalf of our school program at a conference, an education conference, and that was a really good experience for me. And then, of course, college speaking classes, that's a little more intimate with less people, kind of like we're doing now. So that's also been really good experiences. There's actually an opening for a trainer in the career that I'm in now, and I'm looking forward to applying for that position once I graduate. And there's a lot of speaking in there, so excited for that, and it's really been beneficial for me to have all of those experiences. And teamwork, another really huge thing that comes along with the education department is you're always working in teams. So I've taken numerous education classes, almost every single one, that there that you have to take in order to become a teacher, minus classroom management, and then also obviously the student teaching that I'm not able to do. But yeah, lots of teamwork, and a lot of people think, teamwork, hey, I don't have to do everything on my own, and that may be true, but when you have different ideas, opposing ideas, different perspectives, you have to bring all of those together, and a lot of times that can be more difficult than doing projects on your own. So very difficult, but very, very important in the workplace, because most careers that you have, you're going to be doing some teamwork. And then ethics. So I actually was able to take this class in the MDS program, and I really, really love this class. You think of morals, morals, when you think of ethics, personal morals. And this class was able to incorporate like business ethics. So I thought that was really cool and something that I can relate to in the business world. Now back to problem solving. How can we get more MDS students to graduate? And as we had mentioned earlier, we had discussed doing a peer mentoring program. So one quote from a student is, "No one talks about how lonely the multidisciplinary studies program is, especially the online route." And that is true. I mean, you go through most courses, just as a traditional student, meeting with different students, on a weekly basis. And, you see your teachers face to face. And it's just a whole new experience when you come to the MDS program. A lot of it is online specifically, and for good reason. But, it's hard for some students to work with. It's different. It's hard. We're human, and we want human interaction. And the MDS program, has some great classes, like MDS 300, where you actually do get to meet with fellow students. However, not the case for online. So another quote here was, "Not having contact with anyone except through Blackboard was a little alienating also." So that's, it's just a common theme in the program. So what I have proposed is that we have a meeting place where MDS students can come that want to be a part of the mentoring program, where you can meet up with another student. Now, the plan is to have a mentor and a mentee. So somebody who's been in the program a little bit longer, knows a little bit more about the classes, the culture, the teachers, the assignments, the e-portfolio, the technologies, and then be able to help other students who have just entered into the program. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a brand new student. I mean, it can be somebody who is on the same path as you, but you're just there to encourage and to, just be a source of contact, so that you guys can, go through the program together with the end goal of graduating, because it does become alienating, and sometimes you do feel alone. And, I've been there, I've been in the course, and, I felt like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming, just having all this coursework and, the student learning, and, it's hard. It's hard, but having somebody who's there, working towards the same goal, and has, the same classes, the same end goal of graduating, can be really powerful. And, a lot of the research that I've been doing has shown just that. And so having this program, I think, will be really beneficial in keeping students in the MDS program involved and on course, and, making it up to that podium to graduate. So some other universities, they're doing similar things, where you can get a mentor, that'll follow you throughout your university stays. So some of the questions that are shown here is, where's my lecture room? How do I connect with other students? What's expected of me as a student? Where can I get good coffee? Who can help me with referencing? And, planning to use this in the future is definitely something I'm going to be doing. So a lot of the research also that I did was specifically on teacher mentoring, and then also reversing that somewhat into student mentoring, and teaching students how to peer mentor, just for a better experience overall. So the program, I think, is going to work really well. It's something that Alexis obviously has to approve, as well as the MDS program, but I think it's going to be something that's really beneficial for all students. So thank you for listening in.